Hello everyone, how I passed the Google Cloud Professional Architect exam. I passed the Google Cloud Professional Architect exam, and in this video I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it, step by step, the actual plan. But before anything else, I want to say the thing I really made this video for. If you look at Google's own page, they basically recommend you have years and years of experience before you even attempt this, and that scares a lot of people off. So let me say this clearly based on my own experience. You don't need to have a huge amount of experience to really pass this certificate. Of course, you need to have deep knowledge about Google Cloud services, but not really as they are saying. And I'm going to prove to you why that's the case. Of course, I have worked with Google Cloud for a few years, and that helped. But honestly, when I look back at it and analyze it, I found that the thing that got me through it wasn't really the experience. It was understanding the services and how to study the right way, and that's something anyone can do without really having experience. If you really study very well, you don't really need the experience. Here's how I'm going to break this down for you. First, I will talk about the one thing that matters most on this exam, and it's probably not what you think. Then I'll give you my actual plan, the exact steps I took to pass it. We'll talk about the course I used, how I took notes and actually made them stick, why the use cases are also so important. We're going to highlight that one as well, and how practicing the exam ties it all together. And right at the end, the one final step most people skip. So keep watching, and the whole time keep this in your head. I'm making this for a person who doesn't have a ton of experience, because I really believe you can pass this. Let me show you how. Part 1. The one thing this exam is really testing. So let me start with the idea that changes how you study for this whole thing. I'll be honest with you, even with my experience, I have not used every service on Google Cloud. Nobody has. There are so many of them. And in real work, you only ever touch the few your job needs, right? So if this exam was really about deep hands-on experience with every service, even I would have struggled. It's not testing the tiny details of each service. It's testing whether you understand what each service is for, its purpose, and the job it does. Think of it like knowing which tool to grab for which job. You see a problem and you know, okay, for this I would use that service, not that one. Say a company needs to move data from one system into another. You just need to know which service fits that and why. That's the level this exam lives at. And the services I had never touched in real life, I just studied them. I learned what they are for, what problem they solve, when you would reach for them, and that was enough. That's the good news for anyone watching without years of experience. This part you can study. Any service that you have never heard about, you still be able to study it. You don't really need to have the experience to use it and know all the details. So now what was my plan? Okay, so here's exactly what I did. If you copy nothing else from this video, copy this. I took one solid course to refresh every service. It's a Udemy course down in the description. And also I took notes. Third step, I studied the use cases, all 5 of them. I practiced the exam, and then of course I booked the exam and I passed it. So 4 steps, I took one solid course to refresh all services. I took notes and I went back and reviewed them before the exam. I studied the use cases, all 5 of them, and I practiced the exam again and again. Now let me walk you through each one, because the how matters in this case. So about the course that you need to refresh your mind, I think most of the courses there are very similar, but I found one of the courses is extremely helpful, and it was highlighting the majority of the services out there. It was a little bit outdated for some of them, but generally speaking, as mentioned, you don't really need to have the hands-on for each service, how it looks, how is the UI, what you need to do, what are the features. So more or less, it was actually, explaining the services that already present right now with Google Cloud and help you understand the problems that they solve. I also watched a few videos here and there on YouTube when something didn't fully click. Nothing fancy, just topping up the gaps, and of course, like having conversation with AI and try to understand some concepts that did not really get when I was watching the course. And also the notes, taking notes. Here's the part most of people skip it. It made a huge difference for me, and I went through the course, I took notes. But see, taking the notes isn't the magic itself, right? Going back to them is the one. Because here is what happens. You learn a service, you get it, you feel good, oh, got it, I understand everything, all the details about the service, what is the problem that it solves. Then you learn the next one and the next one, and by the time you are 10 services deep, you have forgotten the first ones. That's just how our brain works. So I would go back through my notes quickly again and again, just refreshing what's this service about, what is it for, a fast pass through everything to keep it all alive in my head. That repetition is what turns it from stuff you studied once into stuff you actually know. And for this exam, we have 5 official case studies. So for a few companies with a real set of problems, and studying them in advance is very important. It's going to help you, skip all of the fluff and kind of give you the idea, okay, I know what they are talking about, so it can help you a lot to answer the questions quickly, and then you can invest some time on other questions. So I start with each one, read it properly, and the trick is to ask yourself, what does this company actually care about most? Are they trying to save money? Do they need the thing to never go down, like availability? Is it about the speed, about scaling? Once you can read the situation and feel what it really needs, picking the right service gets so much easier. So because here is how the whole exam thinks, it's never just here is a service. It's always here is a situation, here is a scenario, now what do you use? So study the 5 use cases until that pairing feels natural and you have handled a big chunk of this exam right there. So part 5, practicing the exam like it's real thing. This did 2 huge things for me. First, it got me used to how the questions are written, which is honestly half the battle, right? Because they put them in a tricky way, and you want to be used to that before exam day, not surprised by it. And the second one, it showed me exactly where my gaps were. I knew what to go back and review. And the more I practiced, the less scary the whole thing got. So the questions started to feel familiar. I had seen the shape of them before. By the time I sat the real exam, it almost felt like I would already taken it. So practice, then look at what you got wrong, go review them, then practice again. That little loop is what gets you ready. And then the last step, of course, it sounds obvious, but most people never actually do. Book the exam. Put a real date on the calendar. If you really want my honest advice, I would book the exam in the first week of a study to just set for myself a deadline so I'll never miss it, or I will never procrastinate and forget it. When you really book the exam and pay the fees and you said to yourself, okay, I have 1 month or I have 3 weeks or something like that, it depends on your experience, then just focus on that. You will think differently. Everything changes once you book the exam, even if you haven't studied yet. But this action alone will actually change your mindset and how to approach this exam, and you will think seriously and you will not miss it. So this is a very important trick. I highly recommend that you do it. So don't wait until the last week until you are ready and book the exam. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the line, you forget them and you don't really do anything. As long as you really want to finish it, then book it today. Book it for the next 1 month, next 2 months. So this gives you the plan. Otherwise, if you don't really book it, there's high chance that you will forget it. But if you really book the exam, you will never forget it, and then it will always be on your mind. Oh, I need to study this, so you'll keep studying every single day. It will push you, it will give you the sense of urgency, and increase the chances that you take the exam and pass the exam. So that's the whole thing. Let me summarize it quickly. 1 good course to refresh the services, study them, understand them, do a quick research if you didn't get it, try to understand the services, what are the problems that they solve, and that should be enough. You don't really need to have a deep understanding of each service. And don't forget to take notes while you are studying, especially if you have a service that you have never heard before. Study the service and see what is the purpose of it, how is it going to help you solve this problem, and write some notes. And the important thing, come back to the notes and study them back, review them regularly. And also don't forget the use cases, study them. They are very easy. If you don't understand, of course, use AI to help you study them. Practice the exams until they feel familiar. Go back to them, review your answers, see what went wrong, see why you answered that wrong, then investigate why that was the case. And this helps you a lot to, get the feedback about your answers, which is extremely important and very helpful. That's it. So what you need is to study what the services are for and to study smart. That's it. That's a path anyone can walk. I wish you the best of luck on your studies and exam, and comment below and let me know if this was helpful and if you booked the exam today. That's the important part. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.